Simple Life Prepper here. I'd like to welcome everybody and thank you for viewing the channel. Please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this video if you enjoy the content. So we are continuing our segments on our 48-hour emergency food supply bucket. And it comes from Augason Farms, and it is a 4-person kit with 5 meal varieties in it. And we are on our 4th meal today. And it is going to be the elbow macaroni with the cheese powder, which I call macaroni and cheese. So it has 2 elbow macaroni packets, and you can see it has the nutritional information right there on it, and it also has the instructions on how to cook it, so that makes it easy. And it had 1 of the cheese powders in it. So we took and put 10 cups of water on the stove to boil, and we brought it to a boil. Then we opened our elbow macaroni, and we took the oxygen absorber out of it and we threw it away. And then we dumped in our 2 packets of elbow macaroni into our boiling water, and we let it boil and cook for 10 to 15 minutes is what it says on the package. So we did ours for about 10 minutes. And while that was cooking, I went ahead and decided to do a pound of hamburger because it's not an emergency right now. You could eat the macaroni and cheese just fine without any kind of protein in it, but we just thought we would add some protein to ours. And if you have it available, it would be a good idea to add just a little bit of protein. So you could add canned chicken, you could add Spam, you could add tuna, anything that would give it a little bit of protein if you needed to. So now we're going to make our cheese powder. We took the oxygen absorber out of it, and as you can see, I can't figure out where the camera lens is, so I'm just like going nuts with the oxygen absorber there. So take your cheese powder and take a 1/2 cup and 2 tablespoons of water and mix those 2 together. And I'll have to tell you that the cheese powder, it smelled just like cheese. So it smelled really good, and it mixed up just really nice and was just really, I was pleasantly surprised at how it mixed up and how it came together. So after we mix that up, then we are going to take the cooked macaroni, and we're going to drain the excess water off of it. And it's going to take a minute to get all the water off of the macaroni. And once we do that, we're going to put the macaroni back in the pan and then put it on a cool surface to mix everything together. And you can see how much macaroni it made. So this is something that you could cook up if you had to feed like, I would say 8 to 10 people you could even feed on this one meal. It really cooked up a bunch of macaroni, and it made a big serving. It made a big meal. I was well pleased with how much food was in this. So we added our cheese here, and we're going to mix it all together. We're going to mix our cheese all in with our macaroni, just like you do when you make macaroni and cheese. And you can see how much macaroni is there. It's a lot of food. So again, you could feed quite a few people on this meal. And then I added my ground beef to it just to add some protein to it, and then just kind of mix it all together, and then there you see how much macaroni there is again and how much food there is. So it does make a lot of food for people to eat. So I was well pleased with this meal and how much it cooked up. So we're going to sit down and we're going to try the macaroni and cheese and see how it tastes. And I'll have to tell you that you do not necessarily need salt and pepper on this one. It tasted just fine without it. It was really perfect. Mark always calls it heart healthy salt, so he always puts salt on his. So again, anytime you can add salt, it is a plus, but this macaroni and cheese didn't need any salt. It had a great taste. It was very tasty, and we really enjoyed it, and it made a lot of food. So there you go. You have the elbow macaroni and the cheese powder, and we made up macaroni and cheese, and we added some hamburger to it for some extra protein. But if you didn't have the hamburger, don't worry about it. Just eat the macaroni and cheese. It was really filling and had a great taste. So we really enjoyed it. So anyway, we have one more meal to make. We're going to be making up the creamy potato soup, and that's our last meal in the emergency bucket that we have to cook up. So be sure and check out that video when it gets uploaded. And so until next time, remember, keeping it simple is not the same as doing nothing.